This is the ARTvocates podcast, brought to you by Streets Projects Foundation, Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, supported by Voice Global.
This is the ARTvocates podcast.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to Advocacy Podcast Show, sponsored by Street Project Foundation, Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, and supported by Voice Global. My name is Nweke Emmanuel, a visually impaired but visionary-oriented, fearless change maker. I'm with my friends here and my colleagues in the studio, same person with disability. They are outstanding. I call them those with winning hearts. When I say winning hearts, I truly mean winning hearts. Those that have the fearless hearts to overcome impairments in different forms. So I have my colleagues in the studio. I'll be glad to introduce them to you.
My name is Nwachukwu Israel. I'm a graphic designer and I have dyslexia.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Israel. So the next person again is a guy called the Magic Finger. He doesn't see the keys, but yet he does magic with it. So, young man.
My name is Dimas G, and I am an instrumentalist and a singer. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. So you guys actually welcome to the studio here. So today, here we are complete, fully loaded. Because I guess, this is not the issue of empathy, but here we are. We have it already in us. As I earlier said, I'm visually impaired. Therefore, I understand what it takes to actually, beg for help in terms of navigating my way. Do you get? So as it is today, we're going to talk about disability rights and inclusion. We're going to highlight the problems facing us here in Nigeria and provide solutions to them. So as it is today, so I actually want to call on my fellow advocates here to tell us anything they think that might be the problem that's facing us in the society here. So Israel and Nwachukwu, it might just do it just by highlighting any problem you think that we are facing here generally.
Well, basically, disability rights that are being put in place, but some of them are not being followed through as they should. And there's so many people out there that may have different disabilities, and because of that, they are being looked down, that they cannot be competent, they cannot achieve what other people can achieve, and this is wrong.
Wow, interesting. So if I may get you right, definitely they're talking about discrimination.
Yes.
Probably then counting, maybe looking down on us, thinking about we being actually not being stable in whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
So, but as it is, definitely, I don't know, Mr. Dimas, if you have a contrary view to that or you want to buttress on that point.
Let me support his view. You see, when we talk about inclusiveness, our educational system, I think, has a very big problem. In fact, even our government establishments and even the organizations we find around, they don't include in anything they do. Always the people with disability are always excluded from whatever thing they do. So it's a big issue, despite the constitution, despite the disability rights that was being passed. But if these things are in place, you see, like the issue of transportation, you can even see it's just out there. So inclusiveness is just vast. In every sector, there is an exclusion of people with disabilities, and it's worrisome. Seriously.
Wow. Indeed, it is worrisome. Why I actually laughed in Swahili, because I have a colleague, Maxwell Okpara, graduated 2019 from University of Nigeria, Nsukka. He's visually impaired. He was the best graduate student in his faculty. He made 4.62. Now let me shock you guys. Now, he was actually retained as a GA, that is a graduate assistant lecturer. He wasn't even employed in university. But this guy actually looked forward for this. He worked towards this. If a visually impaired guy can actually bag first class in UNN, yet he wasn't retained, that's to say unemployment is an issue. So definitely, I guess you guys will agree with me.
You see, what you are even talking about has happened to me myself. Like, lucky enough, I photocopied it and as if I knew what was to happen. There was this massive employment that was done in Niger State, 2019. I was recommended, not as if even someone told him. He came to the school I was doing my teaching practice. My local government chairman saw me in the class, and he recommended me. My employment letter was being given to me, but later reversed that how possible that person with disability can achieve this. So it's like, funny enough, even when you make your own efforts to get there, still yet the bottlenecks that are because some of these people who work in such establishment don't have knowledge of people with disability, tends to just wonder and then in ignorance, that is what I see it, in ignorance throw out people who are needed in the job, people who can do the job. They rather focus on the physicality.
Wow. That is actually anyway, it's one of those we're actually talking about today. But definitely after highlighting all these problems and providing solution, government definitely will actually work hard. So Israel Wachuku, you actually beeping your voice. I see you have one or two to say.
Yes. So basically, about dyslexia, I'm sure many of you might not really know or understand what dyslexia is. And basically, dyslexia is a learning disability which involves you have the person might have difficulty learning the way everybody learns, and this is not something that is uncommon actually, because in the population of Nigeria, we have 20% of Nigerians are dyslexic, and some of them might not even know what the problem is. They have this problem, but they don't even understand what it is, what the problem is, and they might see some traits that maybe they cannot understand some things properly, they cannot read, and maybe they feel that they are being slow in catching up in some things that everybody is catching up quickly. And these are some of the things. There's not enough awareness about this. Even the teachers don't know about it. I mean, teachers that are supposed to help us, they're not being
because the curriculum does not even support.
It doesn't support
teachers learning things like this.
Yes, it doesn't support. It doesn't support teachers learning this.
And I think it should be included in educational curriculum.
Yes, it should.
Teachers. Yes, how to care for people with disability.
Okay, so if I'm actually aligned with that, that's to say he wears, he should know where he pinches.
Exactly.
So therefore, we should be found in every sector, in the educational sector. So whenever they are trying to design, or whenever they are designing this curriculum, we can actually impute in these ideas there. So definitely to sell, and all of us will be accommodated.
Yeah.
So to that effect, I will tell you that once you are talking about this problem facing us here, now we'll talk about the health system.
Yes.
Because if you notice what is happening now in the northeast, or the North Pacific, in terms of this bandit and Ovia that you're talking about now, you have a ripple effect. Because after bomb blast, some persons are being displaced. Before you knew it, the increase in disability is actually on the high side as it is now.
Yeah.
And government have no good plans towards this thing. Now, they have paperwork, but is it implemented?
Yes.
We have 5% employment rate for persons with disability, but is it visible?
Yes.
The question, are they visible? The ramp they talked about in public places within some time now. So those on the paraplegic can as well access these buildings. Are they accessible? Look at the banking hall here and there. Imagine when they will stop our colleagues from accessing the banking hall because of their challenges. All things are discriminated. All things we are actually talking about that we should be included. Because people fail to actually understand that disability have no boundary, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your religion, regardless of whatever you hail from. It has no respect for any man. So nobody is immune to this. We should actually be given a place to do whatever wants to do.
Yeah.
So here we're actually going to a musical break, and we're going to play a song by our colleagues, our big brother in the music industry, Kubas Asoko. Do the right thing. So government, do the right thing.
Yes.
There is something missing in the world today. It's the one thing that can make the world okay. And it doesn't cost nothing, no, you don't even have to pay. Oh. It's about doing the right thing every day. 'Cause you are the light, you are the sign, you are the only hope, keeping hope alive. Do the right thing, let the world see, let the light shine everywhere. And when it seems like no one's watching, do the right thing anyway. Just do the right thing all the time, and you'll be sure to have the whole world say, yeah. Oh, rapper, seller, or a movie star. Doesn't really matter who you are. Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
You can be a politician or a policeman. You gotta take the stand and do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Let the world see. Let the light shine everywhere. And when it feels like what you got, do the right thing. Do it all. Over time, you'll be sure to have the whole world saying, do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing.
Just do the right thing.
All the time.
Do the right thing. Right thing. Do the right thing.
You are listening to
The ARTvocates podcast.
This good break, sung by Kobana Soko, Do the Right Thing. What I say, you beckon on everybody, beckon on the government, the private sectors to do the right thing, regardless of wherever you are, regardless of little resources or big resources, do the right thing. Accommodate us, regardless of who we are, accommodate us. Welcome back once again. Though before now, we've highlighted the problems, we want to provide the solution to these problems. That's to say, all hands must be on there collectively to solve the problem. So Israel Wachuku, if you don't mind, I want you to actually tell us what can be done on this issue of dyslexia, because it hits me, though I'm visually impaired, but at least I can read my book with my system, I can read my book with my phone. So those from dyslexia, what do you think they can be done?
Well, basically, I think it should start from the teachers. Like, the teachers need to be educated about dyslexia. I mean, most of the teachers in the educational sector do not even have an idea what dyslexia is, and it's really, really bad. I mean, if dyslexia can be detected in a child at a very young age, it will help the person so that they know how to handle the child, and the child can end up becoming someone very resourceful and productive. Yeah. So I believe the teachers need to be educated. They need to be educated about dyslexia, and they need to know more about it, because basically this is something that it's everywhere, but people don't just know about it.
Exactly. I can relate with that. You know, when I was actually in a special school, guess what? My own special teacher, the woman ought to be teaching us Braille, doesn't even know how to read Braille. So tell me that, now, is she a special teacher?
Irony of life.
This woman, ordinarily, she ought to know how to read Braille. That's to say, we have to encourage special school. That is, because they have one somewhere in the West. Now, this special school now definitely teaches teachers how to cope with these persons with physical challenge. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that now we have to train teachers to that field so they can actually impact knowledge, because no individual is actually a vagabond, or no individual is actually isolated in this world. So every brain definitely has something to offer.
But let me chip in something quickly. You talked about you are even lucky to have phones, laptops to read your books. But first, how easy to get this equipment? You can be as lucky to get them, but how cheap are they in the market? So first of all, if the government wants to help this group of persons, first let these things be accessible, cheap, and pocket friendly for these people or for this group of persons. Imagine when you talk about the Braille machine, how much it costs. Now presently, Braille machine is around 500 to 600,000. How many of us can get that? Because this equipment, not as if they are this costly outside there, but because of the custom duty rate they have to pay. Why don't you give waiver to these things, since they are coming in? Wheelchair, it's not a beans, take it or leave it. Buying wheelchair is not as cheap as you think. So first of all, let this equipment be cheap or be accessible to this group of persons for them to use. Then train teachers right from the colleges of education, have introduced courses that will guide teachers as they live. Let them have it in them that there are people with disability that they will later meet in life, so that it shouldn't be something that it will be like an accident to them. Because you see teachers complaining of having people with disabilities in their class. In fact, at a point, you discover these people have been isolated. Then make sure, another thing is make sure, because I don't like the thing of making special schools. No, make an all-inclusive school. Let people with disability be together with other students, because at the end of the day, you discover that this group of persons, they face challenges outside after they've left this special school, how to cope up again. So let it be made that it is all an inclusive school. Put the infrastructures there for these people to mingle with other students. I think it will help.
Sure, it will, because I think I can relate with that, because when I finished my special school, I have to actually join the society. So coming to the university was actually difficult. Little persons there are like, hi, gosh, man, if I don't blind do. But they were like, so, you know, when people actually labels me blind guy, I feel bad. But apparently, how I wish, when I went to special school, it was just all-inclusive school. I wouldn't have fed so. But, the side that's even itching me much now is that, the private sector are not even doing much to that, regards to employment in Nigeria. Because I'm not actually banking this on all the government sectors alone, but this should be a collective effort. All hands must be on deck to ensure that once you are done with school, once you are done with your vocational school, or once you are done with your normal secular school, you should be employed somewhere. We have 704 local governments in Nigeria here. So definitely, I don't see the reason why they can't accommodate us. Imagine our population is over 29 million, and 70% are unemployed. But I can bet you most of us are actually graduates, but there's no employment.
Yes.
So then how do we cope? Nigeria being a poverty capital, we talk about the person with disability. How do we cope without even having an income? Is he going to the street to beg? Is that the right way forward? Because once on the street, you actually constitute nuisance. And it's not healthy at all.
Most definitely.
We can do it, because disability is not about one being challenged, but one being unable to realize the ability. We have been able to fight through, and we can discover our ability. So I don't see the reason why we should be labeled this too.
That takes me to where I saw you post recently of a security outfit calling for people to apply, and it was stated that people with disabilities are not advised to apply. So it's, and you wonder, this at this age in time,
yes, sir,
can someone or some group of persons still be thinking this way? It's just
it's really bad.
There's an issue with that. There's a big issue with that. So I think let something be drastically done. Let all hands be on deck to make sure these things are, at the end of the day, something that we can all relate with. The society can enjoy itself. Everybody can live with one another.
Sure. I know Israel can relate with that.
Yes. And I know, abroad they have systems for this type of things. They have systems, they have things in place, like for people with dyslexia, and they have scholarships and things that are easily accessible for people living with this issue. Here in Nigeria, there's no enough awareness. Yes, there's not enough awareness about this, and
awareness should be created.
That is really bad. There's not much, because this my dyslexia, I discovered this like last year. I didn't know I was living with this. I just knew that I had educational problems, like from primary school, secondary school. I knew that I had issues with school, but I didn't really know what the cause was. And because of this, this really cost me from graduating from school, because I wasn't able to graduate, because after discovering this, I already have lots of catalogs of carryovers and some issues, and so I couldn't just graduate. And also, I was also gifted in something, graphic design. It was something I discovered along the way.
And because you have teachers who are not...
They're not trained, and
they are not trained to know your situation.
This is my situation, so they don't even know. And mostly, if you discover people with dyslexia, there are many prominent people out there that have this issue, dyslexia. Like, if they have some actors, like, let's say Tom Cruise. If you have heard of Tom Cruise, he's one of the actors, the main character in this movie, Mission Impossible, and he has these issues, and still he was able to go in the career of into a movie career, and he was able to make it. And there are so many other people that have these issues. Even inventors. Like, if we have what's his name? Albert Einstein. He had issues with dyslexia.
Wow.
Even what's his name? Da Vinci. Da Vinci. He had these issues, and still we were still able to, become influential in the society.
The beauty of everything actually lies one early discovering and living above your impairment.
Exactly.
So instead of the whole thing, this is a call for action for everybody to sit up. The religious houses, the government, the private sectors, all hands must be on deck to get these things solved.
Yeah.
So to that effect, we're going to draw the curtain close for the day, but we're going to actually pay homage to whom honor is due. This episode is brought to you by Street Project Foundation, Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, and supported by Voice Global.